Hi, I'm Matt Walk, sports editor of The Emerald, and I'm with Isaac Rosenthal, our digital editor. And we're here at Autzen Stadium, where the Ducks just polished off the Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles 63-14. But even though it was nearly a wire-to-wire victory, it was not without its mistakes on the Duck side. 12 penalties for 105 yards, 80 of those yards in the first half, a lot of illegal contacts, a lot of uncharacteristic sloppy play.
Yeah, a lot of late hits out of bounds. And you mentioned those 80 penalty yards in the first half. That's more than Tennessee Tech had total offense. So it didn't end up hurting the Ducks much today, but that kind of a repeat performance in a Pac-12 game, and it might have a much bigger impact on the scoreboard than it actually did.
It seems like it needlessly lengthened a lot of Tennessee Tech's drives, especially there's turnovers. D'Anthony Thomas had a couple fumbles. Mariota and Bennett each had an interception. It didn't seem, even though it was such a blowout, it didn't seem like the Ducks had as firm control in the game as it looks like they did.
Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it. But on the bright side for the Ducks, it was a much more complete game today than it had been the last 2 weeks. Beginning of the season, all we've been talking about is what a great first half the Ducks had, and then they come out and really have kind of laid an egg in the second half of games. That didn't happen today. The Ducks got on the board in the third quarter, which they hadn't even done that much. And a lot of that performance in the second half was Byron Marshall.
Right, the freshman running back tore it up. He had 125 yards on, I think, 13 carries, and he really just showed, especially on those cuts going north and south, that he's really going to be a force for the Ducks.
Yeah, and it says so much about the depth of this team when you have officially the third-string running back, getting over the century mark in rushing yards. Granted, it's an FCS opponent, but that's still the third-string back getting 100 yards.
Especially considering Kenyon Barner had sort of a quiet day. We didn't really see much of him outside of that touchdown run in the first quarter.
Yeah, and D'Anthony Thomas picked up some of that slack. He had 222 all-purpose yards in the first half, and finally got a chance to return some punts today, which he was joking around in the press conference was something he didn't really have a chance to do at all this year, and it seemed like he averaged like 45 yards per punt return, something incredible like that.
The Ducks look ahead. They open conference play next Saturday against the Arizona Wildcats right here at Autzen Stadium.